Okay, we good? The camera's clear? Okay.
Cool. All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Troy Track Select. Welcome to the Select Few Sessions, where if you are watching, you are one of the Select Few. And I'm not going to do a whole big intro, thank you. I'm just going to let Herbert come up here and take the stage. You ready to do it, man? Let's give it up for Rome, man. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna set you down. All right.
Can everybody stand up with me? Stand up with me. Come to the front. We gonna do something special. Yeah. I'm trying to get you right already. We gonna do something special. Just go ahead, put your hands up too. Put your hands up. Yeah. Hands up. We can run that track for me. I like to do this thing called Most High. Can y'all hear that clearly? So, anybody tried a lot of things in life, but they never seem to satisfy? So this song is just saying where the Most High is at. You go through lows often, but there's a Most High that sits above. Way to the Most High, high, all way to the Most High, high, say, all way to the Most High, say, high, 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 yeah, all rise, the rock in his pond, yo, Amazon tight, Jeff Bezos can't decide, though. He a cyclone outside of time on a tightrope. Ghosts can't hang, y'all don't really know Hover. Jay with the Z jump man, and he always stay woke, yeah. Never sleep with the word on his feet, yeah. Job sheep just eat what they feed you. Too cheap, living temporarily. The owner down there pointed at a time, he gon' meet you. I've been putting all my coins in a meter. Park my car on my plot is a feature. Cross from my father, empowering people. Over my riches, I give them to Jesus. I've been climbing in his climbing cave. Hands up. Dying at the door, bounce, shining in my dance. He came out, he get rock, but we all way to the most, all way to the most, all way to the most, high, all way to the most, yeah, all way to the most, high, say. Way to the most high. Way to the most high. Yeah. Way to the most high. You gotta get a round of applause for everybody that's rocking with the Most High. No, we not done. Come closer actually. My name is Herbert, and I make bold music for you to fight fear. But my grandma, she did this thing where she would open up the oven to heat the house up. So this next song is called Heated Oven. So I just need y'all to say heated oven every time I point the mic. Let's do that. Y'all ready?
Try.
My cold night. Grandma got on cold night. My grandma. My cold night. My cold night. Cold nights, got on my mind, cold nights. Look, should have been killed, them out the pills, say how I feel. Outdoors in the crib. I don't know if y'all hear me. I said, I should have been killed, them out the pills, say how I feel. Outdoors in the crib. Nighttime, cause my end like for real. Driving in my grandma, safe for the live. She was in the hood, shots ring like doorbells, till it got beat, don't know why. Be still. Been drilling my system. How you living, learn the academics like my sister. Never been smart, just hard work ethic. Never had bars, just part in the message. Never knew art, drawn to my death. Youngest time God, parked by the exit. Living on star, high fly with direction. Hit a TikTok, cold nights make desperate. Time is my line in the sand, and the grains on the hourglass making me land. Every second. My mind, cold nights, heat the oven. Grandma, come on. Heat the oven. Cold nights, heat the oven. My mind, heat the oven. Grandma, heat the oven. My mind, cold nights. My mind, cold nights. My mind, cold nights. My mind, cold nights. Got on my mind, cold nights. The last tight in in the sound bites. What that taste like? Cool ice, rhyme spiked, family hot.
Holding the soda cause
Catching school buses in negative temperatures, that's what you catch. They
They
say,
say,
brother,
brother,
buttercup,
buttercup.
9 no delays, and slow days, not for none of us making their way out in nothing 100 days. Teaching that leader the sheet on the mind, slipping and sliding up
part
part
of the ride.
There's no eating and
There is no grind.
If you're an accident,
You all behind.
Calling these shit
Now
not
the
an option
option
of
of
mine.
mine.
So I sit back and reclining and sucker the climber with tough against skin and their rubber for love
loving
and
the
crime.
climb.
This our last chance to go all the way up. Y'all still like right here. I need y'all to go like right here, okay? Can we do that for this last one? All right, I'm trusting you. This I'm trusting. Heat it up, my cold night. My cold night. My cold night. Got on my mind, cold night. All right, I think y'all got give y'all got through that first. The mic check is look, y'all need to. We kind of peaking. We got to come back up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's Thursday. I wish it was Friday because I gotta work tomorrow, but we're gonna make the most of it. So this song is called Still Standing. During the pandemic, unfortunately, things got worse for people. But I made this song to say, no matter what, you're still standing in the midst of it. And I know a lot of people are seated right now, but we gonna keep standing no matter what happens. So all that you gotta do is say, I'm still standing. Can we do that? You know I still got my heart on display. All the tears only brought up my face. Through the years I done dodged all the fakes. Now the real only ones who relate. Say, but I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. Wrestling when they test me. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. But I was trying to roll through the hood, let it sing, cause they trapped me so hard down my ground I can't breathe. Calling the police, but they never coming through unless you speaking with the green for the fucking part of teeth. They don't even need a reason, they'll leave you licking out. A Raymond on the payment cause he fit the profile. Thank God for my main mans and my lady intervened when my anger made me wanna air it down. They burning safes, but the shots ripple straight. Still, GS we play, but you ain't healed. Tell me where I can place faith here. They put their hands up but still kill. Run through the field with the victims of crimes of my life. I'm striving to help them survive. Wanna bring fire and want to the nice. Charmin's cold and it turn into ice. Oh, you know I still got my heart on display. Paradise, all the tears only brought up my faith. Of my faith, through the years I done dodged all the fakes. Now the real only ones who relate. Say, but I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. Wrestling when they test me. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. Blows been landing. My balance, bandage up my hands. I get back to doing miss. Kick what I live kids out of listening to fear. Intense for the gift, artistic with the business. I still give freedom to ears. Here when you're holding on, the low too strong. The bow might rock, but you floating on. Hope when the storm winds blow, you look to your people for a rope. They all are gone. Sidelines to your often, carrying a cross, hard to get it talked. I'm speaking up so you get up out the coffin. Feeling in your bones, still standing through the losses.
Oh, you know I still got my heart on display. All the tears only brought on my face. Through the years I done dodged all the fakes. Now the real only ones who relate. No, I'm still standing.
What?
No, I'm still standing. But I'm still standing.
Wrestling when they test me.
But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing. But I'm still standing.
But I'm... Yeah, Auntie Gina's still standing. Chris Smith in the building standing. Paradise in the building sitting down, but he's always standing because he's a stand-up individual. You know? Actually, you know what? I feel like the chairs are killing the vibe a bit. We gotta stand up. We gotta stand up. We gotta stand up. We gotta move the chairs back a bit. We gotta move the chairs back a bit. You feel me? Move it. Come to the front. Come to the front. Come to the front with me. Come to the front with me. Yeah. Don't be shy. I promise I won't bite. And if I do, it's his fault. He booked me. I know the front line. front line. Front line, I didn't know the front line.
I just know the
Front line,
I don't know.
front line,
I just know the
front line. Behind my eyesight, I ride to the finish. I don't know what else to give. Ain't no gimmicks, it's a mission. Take it serious, ain't no gimmicks. We just give them fake on records. Hope you hear it. They can kill me, I don't fear it. I'ma take off when my soul gone. Where you go when your hoe lost with a cold heart in the heat? All nightmares, lightheaded, my feet shooting at my conscience. R.I.P. my partner, shells outside my apartment. Where I park, talk to God when I'm pissed off. We were chosen and called for this road, dog. If you drove with the stars, there'll be battles you lost. But the war on, they just wanna punch line.
Tapping for a hit, right? I don't know a front line. I just know the front line.
I just know the front line. Front line. Front line. Front line. I just know the
front line.
front line.
Front line.
Front line.
Front line.
Front line. I just know the
Front line. Front line.
front line.
Front line.
Front line.
Front line.
Front line. I just know the
Front line.
I just know the
Front line.
I just know
Front line.
I just know
the front line.
I just know the
Front.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Round of applause. We getting there. The energy has been kind of here. It's climbing up a bit. But I need y'all to go all the way up for this one. Because we're celebrating the people that be on the front lines with us. Shout out to all the beautiful, bold black women that hold us down.
Regulate.
Regulation. Regulation.
I just out here trying to regulate. Some I ain't following your regulations. I'm just out here trying to regulate. Yeah, I'm just out here trying to regulate. Some I ain't following your regulations. I'm just out here trying to regulate. Some I'm just out here trying to regulate.
All the trauma and the pain that we had to face, like man's got us up in the worst of ways. When she told me all her pain, felt like I was talking to a mirror, and it's really crazy. I don't pray for, I'm a patient. The people that don't understand the struggle that we came from. Grandma, I remember trapping in our dad had got us out the version, still got stuck in traffic, stay with you and static at the crib was crazy. Mama was a lady despite mental illness that she suffered from. Still a queen, I don't push a narrative to hate black women. I started feeling thick when you trying to tell them how they be. And I'm so sweeter than my Aunt Regina. No one sweeter than Grandma Mina or Dorothea, my mama, Auntie Charlotte, or my cousin. Today, my sister taught me how to regulate emotion in the twist. Regulate. Regulate. Say, I'm just trying to regulate. 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 Yeah, y'all sound beautiful. Oh, you was regulating too much. Stuff came up in the throat. Oh no, I feel you. That be happening to me too. Happens to me all the time too. That's why a part of regulation, honestly, I'm gonna take a sip of water because I'm tired. You feel me? I ain't gonna cap. A part of regulating is saying no. Those two letters are the most powerful words you can say to somebody. Anybody struggle saying no though? Is it hard to say no to some things? And so, a part of that is just knowing that we have limits. We have space that we can carry in our schedule, in our time. So, just let them know you're at capacity, and that's okay. This just came out today too. And I'm about to sing, so y'all gotta show some love.
Yeah, sounds
Pray
great,
when
but
I'm
I'm
at capacity. Pat.
You just too late.
I'm at capacity.
I can't entertain when you are asking me. Ain't no hate, life's just been maxing me. I learned to stay so I gotta stay carefully. Often I be overcompensating my capacity.
Stop.
Ain't no space for my capacity.
Oh, you can do two things at once? Maybe you're not at capacity yet. We gonna add something else on this next one too. Keep stopping. Alright, this side stop. This side turn. Yeah, they may be passing me. I ain't really worried about it. I want peace. They don't even say please before. When I started getting less, you demanded more. I I know your motives, you can't control me. I'm not an opponent, but you won't exploit me. It might be known now right now, but I promise it's cause I'm max capacity. Clack, 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 clack.
I ain't got no space, I'm at capacity.
Uh-oh, can we stay on beat with it though?
Too late, I'm at capacity.
Y'all doing great.
Capacity.
Say capacity. Say capacity. 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 Say what? Huh? What? Say two step. Uh-oh, trying to get in it. Trying to get in it. Oh. Well, I'm gonna get a little vulnerable on this next half of the show. Can I do that? I like to have fun, but I like to get vulnerable too. Can I be real? This past Mother's Day was pretty hard for me. I haven't really had a relationship that well with my moms, so I didn't get to talk this Mother's Day. So I was kind of crying Sunday, just thinking about what I wish would happen. So it may be people you lost or grown apart from, but just remember, they can always be a piece of you. They can always bring you back to reality. You can remember them. And the truth of the matter is, it's okay if they make you weep sometimes thinking about it.
Can't forget where you come from. You are a piece of me. You're a piece of me. You always make me win. I'm always win. You are a piece of me. Thinking what we been. You always make me up.
I can't believe my eyes are farther. We have come to be right now. We meeting over Zoom. I just laugh so nervously. Emergency when I sleep and I see in my dreams every scene that we meet. Retreat for the reason. Bleeding for needs so deep. I think I blew off therapy so long. I've been in my heart, feeling so strong. Hardly room to breathe. Sinking in the sorrow. Going upstream, trying to make it till tomorrow. Roll with the boat, need a rope to hold on. I got the hook by now. You are a piece of me. Troy got it. I done cried rubble, I survived trouble. I had a hot bubble, I stay inside naked. I popped about double the homicide. Ain't got no alibi. I do not cater to haters. I'm pounding the payment right out of the basement. Testing my patience, I'm down if it's payment. Training my ways and I'm staying in favor. All that's in front, I really need an anchor. Suddenly I'm drifting, I'm sitting in danger. Sharks in these waters, they sleep in my angles. The pain I suppress from my mother remains. Time doesn't heal unless you addressing the wounds you conceal. Taking the steps to confess and reveal. Letting the people around you approach and be part of the culture that's holding your tears. And it's hard when you lost on your way home. And your thoughts full of scars cannot let go. Let this song be a call when your tears flow.
You are always a piece of me. And you are a piece of me. You're a piece of me. You always make me win. You're a piece of me. You are a piece of me. And you always make me win. You are a piece of me. And you always make me win. You are a piece of me. And you always make me win.
Give yourselves a round of applause. You can still repair relationships that have been broken. Even if it's hard to address those wounds inside, time doesn't heal unless you talk about it. So with my music, I make music for your mental health. But if we never talk about the scars that we hold, they can't heal, right? Anybody got some scars hidden? I told myself I'm good all by my own. But if I'm honest, then sometimes I wish you called. But we never talk, hard to correspond. When they ran up in my spot and I got robbed. Listen, I was about to set it off. Dollar on the line, album put up far. Brother telling me to move up out the crib. But I just put down a deposit and put up all the rent. Grandma, I remember. I wish you lit me, I wish there wasn't distance. I wish we listened and we paid attention to the ways that we had changed for mental illness. I just wish things were different. I wish my sister would live here and we could kick it like we did in old times. But nothing was the same since we hit that landmine. Now my mind lands punchlines, hoping that these rhymes take me across the globe. But I know I'm in a special place, coming from a broken home, my father. These wounds so deep, it's hard to believe I'll see a day when I'll be whole again. I just want home again, want you to know. I think of you in the lows, father wounds in my soul. Got these wounds in my soul. Wounds in my soul, I got these wounds in my soul. These father wounds in my soul. Father wounds in my soul. I got these wounds in my soul. I got these wounds in my soul. These father wounds in my soul. Yeah. So sometimes our family dynamics leave us wounded. We don't ever like to talk about it. And we don't talk about it to shame people. We talk about it to be honest about our pain, right? Because nothing can be healed unless it's brought into the light. If we leave stuff in darkness, nothing changes. And so, I was tempted to leave this in darkness. When I hit rock bottom, look out for my blessing, then hit right with when my fam got him. I just pray you take away this pain, cause I've been bedridden. Y'all can take a seat. Laying in that bed. Y'all come to the front if you like. Or you can chill in the back, it's all love. Straight cause I've been bedridden. I've been bedridden. Older cousin laying in that bed riding. I was missing at the wake, I went the wrong way. Supposed to be the pallbearer, but I wasn't there to carry him and drop him in the grave. I was so ashamed, didn't hit the repast. My grandma hit me up, talking about it, we laughed. About the family memories and secrets people keeping. Thinking about the day she's gone, I don't know how I be sleeping. Right now I'm simply steady bed riding. Thinking about my older cousin laying in that bed riding. God, I pray you take away my pain when I hit rock bottom. Look out for my blessing and hit right when my fam got him. I just need your strength to come awake cause I've been bed riding. Older cousin laying in that bed riding. Take away this pain when I hit rock bottom. God, I need your strength cause I've been bed riding. I've been bed riding. It feels like I just can't get past this last autumn. The police killed him in September, never did the autopsy. Man, this God awful. Do you see this fallen world or do you simply call it awful? Look, if it was me, I'd probably never come around. So I'm not really blaming you. I'm just pleading out loud. We were at my grandma's birthday dinner cracking jokes. Then I'm staring at his casket trying to find a way to cope. Right now it's just through the bed riding. Older cousin laying in that bed. Take away this pain when I hit right when my fam got him. I just need your strength to come awake cause I've been. So last September, one of my older cousins had got killed by the police right before one of my shows happened. And things like that kind of make you want to stop and not pursue your passions, not pursue living really. And so bed riding is just honesty about the journeys we all face and the people we lose along the way. But I want you guys to remain on the journey and rise to the finish line.
In the middle. Yeah. We know the humble beginnings.
So this next one, stand up with me. Get your hands on the wheel.
You know we ride to the finish. Yeah.
We don't arrive after the pot. Highlight the wins for the losses and give it momentum. We done had to finish. So sit with me. You know I ride to the finish. Ay, 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 talk with my brother about trenches. Ay, roads will pull up for dinner. I pin in my auntie. Talk about loving my family with them. My parents is split up, and me and my sister got nothing to the visits we had on the weekends was too much pretending. I felt like a failure was acting too distant. I couldn't be fine. Dating myself and I'm killing the time. There was a show when you looked in my eyes. Blinding my feelings, I put him aside. Told me check him against later, he died. So many nights that I cried, try to revive, light that he shine. Thoughts in my pride, fall for my prime. Times in this ride that I stop from hard.
No story can start in the middle. We know the humble begins.
Hands on the wheel.
Start is not high and
Hands up.
You know we ride to the finish. Ay, we don't ride after the prize. Highlight the wins for the losses and give them momentum. We done had too many, so sit with me. You know I ride to the finish. Ay, you know I ride to the finish. Ay, you know I ride to the finish. Say, you know I ride to the finish. You know I ride to the finish. Ay, ride, say, ride, yeah. Ride, say, ride, say. No story can start in the middle. We know the humble beginnings. The start is not how I am ending. You know we ride to the finish. Yeah. We don't ride after the prize. I like the wins and the losses and give them momentum. We done had too many, so sit with me. You know I ride to the finish. Hey, you know I ride to the finish. Hey, you know I ride to the finish. What? You know I ride to the finish. Hey, you know I ride to the finish.
Yeah, y'all saw that recovery. Y'all didn't even see that. Oh, y'all saw it now. Okay. We didn't recover from that. But
that actually concludes on my set. What's up, Notion? Notion in the building. That actually concludes on my set. But I wanted to say this real quickly. Can you pass me a journal right there? Thank you so much, Troy. So, everybody in this area, everybody in the city, everybody in this vicinity, we all have a story. You know what I'm saying? And this particular part of the journey, anybody read a book before? Okay, I hope everybody has raised, but it's okay if you haven't. Look, it's all love. I'm not here to shame nobody. But at the beginning of a book, there's a foreword. So tonight, what I wanted to do is just write the foreword for your journey. This experience is just one of many that you'll probably have until your time is up, until your time ends and it finishes. And so, if you grab one of these journals, I just want to write you a handwritten note and let it be the beginning of another chapter of your story. Because keep writing your story. Your story has value. Your story has purpose. Shout out to everybody, somebody. Everybody's life has value. You know what I'm saying? But often we don't see that value. So instead of shirts, instead of certain things that I've done before, I just wanted to move journals to give you the opportunity to tell your story and keep writing your story. Because a lot of us give up on our story, right? Don't give up on your story. These are only $10. Buy me if you want to. Thanks so much, Troy. We're gonna commence now. You can meet me at the merch table because we're gonna do an interview here in a little bit. I'm gonna share a bit more about myself. But in the meantime, while he's setting up, meet me at the table if you want a copy of this journal. All right, I love y'all so much. Thank you.
Okay, everybody give me about 10 minutes to reset up for the interview, and I'll see you then. All right, peace.
I gotta get more like Tyrus, man. Just get used to talking on mics in front of cameras.
You'll do just fine, I promise. Okay, so real quick, let's just clap for Rome one more time. I appreciate such a great performance that we'll have to talk about afterwards in general, just because I really enjoyed it. But I really thank you for coming down and doing this, man. It means a lot.
No, for sure, bro. I appreciate you having me out. It's just so great to be outside, too.
Yeah.
It was an amazing time.
Yeah, man. So I've liked to ask this question a lot when I start these. Do you remember how we first met, Rome?
I believe we first met at one of Murdoch's mastermind. Was it a side hustle economy?
It was like
summit?
a side hustle economy.
Yeah, it was
thing.
one of those events there.
Yeah,
I believe we met at, and then we were talking just a little bit back then. And
Yeah, so it was about a year ago, maybe a little longer at this point in time. But you're absolutely right, because I was like, man, how did I first meet Rome really? I knew it was connected to Murdoch, at least I thought so, but I was just making sure. But yeah, and I think we just started talking however we did. But I really got to say shout out to Murdoch, because he's now been indirectly responsible for at least 2 of these sessions at this point. So, I who knows how many more he'll be halfway responsible for.
Whole lot. That brother's powerful.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go right into it. You've Been putting out music for how long exactly?
Too long.
Mm-hmm.
So I originally started putting out music when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I was about 15 years old. I remember I recorded with one of my mentors at a church I went to. Right, he took me to his house on the west side, and he would kind of show me the ropes a bit, let me record. It was also an outreach ministry called the Connect I was involved in, and so he would allow me to go to it was a spot he had at the crib called the Connect Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So I would record with him, and then he taught me kind of some ropes about getting my own setup. So I started recording that on my own crib too. So that was kind of the genesis. It's just I was always writing before that, but I wasn't really putting stuff out.
Yeah. Well, so I noticed, you've been putting out music for a while then at this point, but last year you put out 3 albums kind of back to back to back, pretty much every month for 3 months. What was it? July, August, and September? Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
So what was the mindset behind that? Because that's definitely much different than what most people are doing.
That's a great question. What was the mindset behind that? I love that question. A lot of where my mind has been with music, especially this past 2 years, right, was leaving empty. There was a situation where I had taught a bit during performance too. I got robbed.
Yeah.
And I had lost all my equipment. I almost lost all my files too on there, but thankfully I got them back. And so for me, I kind of reached this point where I said, I'm not going to worry too much about, because it's important to put out quality product, right? But I think a lot of times artists get in their heads about how are people going to receive it if it's not perfect. So I remember I put out a song prior to that year called Holidays Are Hard, right? My grandma had just passed. I just went through divorce, and I felt like, man, I was trying to mix stuff myself too at the time. I was just like, it's not perfect, it's not sounding how I want it to sound. But I put it out, and then literally 2 hours afterward, dude said, my grandma just passed. Thank you so much for this song. So after that point in time, I said, never again will I allow fear to dictate my next moves, even if it's not perfect, if it's not completely polished. And so as I started putting the songs out more consistently, I was like, I'm definitely more of a project artist, to be honest with you. Like, I do enjoy the singles, kind of give you more visibility, and I've kind of tried different ways to waterfall them out. But I believe that projects for me is kind of just statements I get to make and bring you more into a world. So I just kind of compiled a couple of the different singles I had, and then a whole bunch of other songs, and started making projects from there. So I put out those projects just as a result of, man, I want to keep building worlds for people and keep giving people more of who I am. And as the craft has been developing, I've been outsourcing and delegating more of that mixing and production. So now I feel like the quality is jumping up even better, and I'm getting more into creative rhythms to where it's not a huge stretch. Now, in terms of the marketing, though, it's like, yeah, you can have a whole bunch, but you got to have a strategy behind it. So that's where this year I'm working on getting more tighter with just the strategy. So far I've had one this year drop, and then a second one actually coming here this summer. And then I got some more in the pipeline. So I'm going to space them out a bit more. But that was kind of just my heart behind it, is just not allowing fear to stop me from making people feel bold. So.
Yeah, and I would say, because I was listening to all of those projects. What is it? Black Boys Get Butterflies Too, Soldier Sounds, and The Secret. Yeah. So one thing I noticed about you, especially when you talk about being a project artist, is a lot of you have recurring themes throughout your albums, where it's not like this one song is the love song, I would say, or this one song is my, I don't know, coming of age song or whatever. A lot of times it's like multiple songs are all touching on topics that you've kind of talked about in all of them, but there might be like one piece of the story here, one piece of the story there. Was that an intentional choice?
Yeah, I would like to say yes, but I won't say it entirely. You know how somebody like they put out lyrics and then people make their own interpretations.
Sure,
you
yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
That's kind of how I feel with that. But I definitely say I generally try to weave a narrative or story. That's why I say I'm more of a project artist, because, like, yes, I do want certain songs that you can dance to or bops. I want some people to feel those love romantic type songs too. So I work on that side. Like the Black Men Get Butterflies was like my first like R&B type project. So I started singing more. Tyrus was actually at the listening party for that. Actually, you feel me? So it was fun. It was so it's just I'm a complex individual. I think people are complex too, and I want to create more worlds for people to live within. I feel like projects and albums do that best. And I think as I'm growing in some marketing stuff, I see why people do it that way. So I'm like, oh, make sure you have this dance song, make sure you have this love song. I see why people do that. But yeah, I'm definitely kind of one that's like, I'm more of a, at the end of the day, more album project. I'm always thinking about like the overall story and how does this connect together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a world building thing, and I can understand that when that is your flow of doing things, right? So like I was saying, you have some of these recurring themes that are on all of your albums, but I would say specifically on Soldier Sounds, and honestly probably on The Secret as well, it's a lot of talk about like, mental illness, familial bonds and structures, and kind of all the things that come with that. The robbery that you kind of touch on a few different times, and we'll get into that. And love and therapy. So I think is it Regulate, I believe?
Yeah, Regulation.
Yeah, so Regulation, I'm sorry, on Save My Place.
Save My Place.
You mentioned a lot about mental illness or mental issues throughout all these projects, but on Save My Place specifically is where you kind of talk about therapy and some of your experiences with it. Mm-hmm. So what made you actually take the step to start going to therapy? Because I think that's a step for everyone,
No, that's a great question. Actually, shout out to you because you got like a notebook full of questions. I've never experienced that. You prepared, man.
It's my job.
It's the most professional. Oh, man. That's crazy. No shade at you at all time. I know we just did an interview. He's like, oh, well, I guess I wasn't professional. You know what I'm saying? But nah, the genesis, honestly, for me, was I was at Ball State at the time. Ball State University. I was enrolled. And, growing up in black communities, black families, oftentimes therapy, at least at the time I was coming up, it was very taboo. Still is to this day, right, to a degree. But it was a lot more normalized in a predominantly white institution, and there was access to it. And so by the time I had dropped out of school, but somebody had recommended counseling for a while because I had just gone through a breakup too. Shout out to Heartbreak. Nothing like Heartbreak will make you realize, okay, I need to this hurts, man. Yeah. This hurts.
Let me get something together.
You can't put a Band-Aid on it. Like, it just keeps hurting. You feel me? So really, that getting into it that first time and hearing, when you go to a doctor, they'll tell you, hey, here's some things that might be the issue. Here's the things that might be wrestling with. Try these things. And they'll give you diagnoses, right? I never got a mental health diagnosis. She's like, based upon our intake, right, and based upon our sessions, you struggle with PTSD and anxiety and depression. Yeah. So I never really had, and sometimes we can hear that and be like, we don't want people to like label us and talk about our faults, but it's like, it's helpful to know what the issue is so that you can start thinking about, okay, what tools can you bring out in it. So really, that first time around was a great time of just being like, oh, like these are actually I remember the first crazy thing I learned was like, I always thought anxiety was somebody that's like really like on edge and starts freaking out. But when she had told me that anxiety can look like shutting down or going numb and not feeling feelings, that like changed my whole perspective. I feel like that's what I do most of my life is I shut down, isolate, and I don't know how to fully express that. So it's really been a journey because I think in the same way with healthcare that we don't realize we can go through multiple different providers to search for that one that might be a better fit. And I think I talked about in that song, it's like I had an experience where I'm like, yo, I shared something that was really personal about my sexual trauma, and it seemed as if, and this not to like throw under the bus or throw shade at, but it was dismissed. And when I was trying to dive into it, it almost wasn't believed. So it's like, man, how do you, not just allow one experience to be like, okay, just throw, because that's what a lot of people do, right? Oh, since this therapy don't work or this don't work, and they just be like, they keep going on. But no, it's like anything, like you can keep on searching and trying different things, different people.
So that was something I was going to ask about specifically is, you had that experience where it just wasn't a good fit for you and kind of I don't want to say a betrayal of trust, but like, you have this thing of I'm working with this doctor, and with mental health professionals, it's a different situation than just a regular physical doctor. But what made you say, okay, well, I'm going to keep trying anyway, or like come back and try it again after having that sort of experience? 'Cause I feel like a lot of people would have been turned off, especially, I don't know if you were new to therapy at the time, but like if they were new and it didn't work the first time, they're like, well, then all of this doesn't work. So what made you just keep going?
No, for real, that's solid. I think for one, it's the fact it was, I believe, my second therapist that experience happened. So that was definitely helpful that I had kind of exposure to it. And man, it's just I have homies too that have been through the process and have kind of, and I may share certain things that I was talking about throughout it. And so hearing their affirmation and hearing them still encourage me to pursue it, I say was really helpful, because it's like the history of black people in the healthcare system, right? We seek out treatment, and a lot of times the fields and the history and the way that it's practiced is not geared towards us, and it's not created with us in mind at all. So even though I sought out strictly black therapists, to be 100 with you, there still was that gap. And I think for me, it was just a matter of understanding, one, having other support systems around, and then two, understanding like, if my back's prime example, right, I went to a chiropractor one time, this white dude, I feel like he went like WrestleMania on me. I'm like, hey man, I don't think it's supposed to feel like this. Yeah. So I went to another provider, and it was a little bit better experience. So I think it's kind of like that. Like, the hurt's gonna be there regardless. It's just, are you gonna do something about it?
Yeah. No, that's real. I mean, So I guess, kind of expanding on that, or at least maybe a different lane. You mentioned a breakup earlier, which is kind of like something that might have sparked a little bit of your therapy journey. So I assume, because I think it's still on regulation where you talk about, I remember my therapist saying, I'm trading lost intimacy for a false one.
Yeah, that's on Save My Place.
Save My Place, excuse me.
You good.
So what, do you think you found a real intimacy since then?
Oh, that's a spicy question. Do I think I found a real intimacy? Hey, this is where I get my soul. Honestly, no, I don't think I have. Mm-hmm. I think I'm still on a journey searching for that authentic intimacy. And one, I mean, shout out to, hey, if you out there, you feel me, I'm single. But two, I feel like been a journey with like loving myself, mm-hmm. and realizing not seeking satisfaction from other people. So even on that song, I'm talking about wrestling with pornography, mm-hmm. and I'm saying like, yo, my therapist, I'm explaining that to my therapist, and he's like, yeah, I see that you're trading that because you had that in the marriage previously, but now it's not there.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to kind of recreate that, but it's a false one because it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think that really when it comes to my relationship with myself, my relationship with God, my relationship with others, I've really wrestled to be like, and that come back to as I dove into it, just my familial patterns too, right?
Yeah.
I have a disconnect with my moms, with my dad. Those feelings of abandonment resurface often to where I'll forecast, I can self-sabotage. It's a whole bunch of different things I can do that prevent me from seeking out intimacy because I don't want to get hurt again the same way to where I feel like a lot of people abandon me. So that's I say I'm definitely right now on a journey of rekindling intimacy in all aspects of my life.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think we all need a little something, or a lot of something. You know, a little something isn't always enough for sure. But I guess, you know, you mentioned your parents, and you have songs about both of them, with father wounds and I believe abandonment, or is it abandoned?
Yeah, I feel abandoned. Oh, you really be listening? Wow,
it's not for play, man.
He said it's not a game. It's real. That's great. Ooh, rabbit.
And so, you know, you talk about.
They was talking about it earlier, and I missed it.
I didn't get to see him earlier.
Hey, yeah, look at that. Such a beautiful rabbit. Shout out to the rabbit.
There's a ton of them down here for whatever reason. But you mentioned both of them and kind of having these strained relationships with both of them, unfortunately. How are you navigating that now as an adult who has gone through therapy? And I know that you want to have better relationships with them and you're kind of working on that, but how are you navigating that now?
It's a great question. How am I navigating that now? Honestly, it's a rocky road. To be 100% honest with you, I mentioned that in the performance too, right? I was working to connect with my mom during Mother's Day. Unfortunately, it didn't happen because I think she moved recently again, and sometimes her phone kind of goes off. So it's such a tricky situation because when you have family members that suffer from a mental illness, it's a lot of, I'll say, thin ice, and there can be certain gaslighting and stuff that happens. So it gets difficult to maintain connection. So that piece is hard for me. I still see, because she's kind of out there. She's out in Missouri, actually. Okay. Right. So she's way out in Missouri. So I still seek to here and there tap in with her. But then on the other end, with my father specifically, that's probably the most difficult one that I haven't taken as many steps as I would. Because personally, I say it's somewhat on me because this feel like a therapy session right now. It's somewhat on me because I struggle with, I say, engaging in staying consistent with him and because he remarried too eventually, right? And there was a lot of rocky history with the remarriage that happened when I was living with them. So ever since then, it's been very shaky. Like I'll see him in passing at my grandma's house at times, but I honestly I haven't been intentional about seeking to engage. And so even in father wounds, it's like these are things I kind of wish happened, but I feel it kind of feels exhausting to do that work. So I would say that's one of those things that I personally, on a scale of 1 to 10, like I feel like engaging with my mom has been probably at like a 6 or 7, but engaging with my dad has been like a 2 or 3. Yeah. So that would probably be kind of that discrepancy there, and that's just from a lot of like with me still, you know, well you might not know specifically, but when you feel like you're kind of in between families and you're not really sure how to, should I connect with this person more, should I connect with that person more, it kind of feels like kind of a split, and you're kind of, perfect word, capacity, you try to overcompensate a lot, you know, you try to overcompensate, and it's just a tricky thing for me personally because I think I do too much often when it comes to work, life, social balance, business, stuff like this, but then trying to kind of repair those relationships. Honestly, I don't know if I'll be equipped until I. No, I won't say that. Because I feel like we'll get to I'm gonna let that cannon drop soon.
Sure.
I'm gonna let that cannon drop. I appreciate it. That's a great question though.
Yeah,
it's
man.
a very deep, soul searching question.
Well, you know, and it's not like you have a lot of relationships with family members that are very strong, right? Even at, I went to a show with you and Malachi Carter, where you were dropping some songs, and you know, even in that moment, I think as your grandmother came, and like you literally stopped the show to say hello to your grandmother and talk with her, and you had an intermission for a while. So, you have a very sweet moment on regulation when you talk about the admiration for some of the women in your life. And even here, we had some family members show up where you said, ain't no soul sweeter than my Aunt Regina, my Auntie Charlotte, or my cousin Jadea, my sister, taught me how to regulate emotions through this twister. And you kind of mentioned pushing against some narratives that were kind of hating on black women. How did you, because I wasn't sure if you were saying you were at once saying that and then you flipped over, or if someone else was saying that and you just were really frustrated with that.
That's a great question. So you said, how did I?
You have these very strong relationships with them. So how did you get them? And then how did you, I mean, I think it'd be pretty obvious, but how did you start pushing against some of these narratives that are out there hating all women in general, but then specifically black women?
Yeah. So there's this term called misogynoir that I learned about, which is misogyny plus black noir, which is the hatred of black women.
Okay.
And I think it's this book I read a couple years back called Too Heavy a Yoke. Shout out to this one lady put me on to it. And I think there's those subtle narratives, and especially now more than ever, that are divisive within the community, and they're controlling images throughout time that have placed black women as either just strong and loveless or aggressive, or they say it's like a Jezebel stereotype. So there are all these boxes that black women get placed within. And as I've read and as I've learned to cherish more so my relationships, I've realized, like there's a responsibility on men, black men within the community, to negate some of that we see. And especially I feel like myself as a hip-hop artist, crossover of that, there's been a lot of complicit imagery in songs that demean black women consistently and flagrantly. And so me as an artist, I feel like when I enter in those spaces and when I use my voice, if I'm claiming to be about blackness, mental health, and Jesus, I have to stand on business, as folks say, about really uplifting and not continuing those narratives. Because often what you hear is like, oh yeah, even when it comes to like romance, whatever, you hear people be like, oh yeah, I don't want to get black women because they're, might be too aggressive or woo-de-woo. But it's like, I even in that song, I name off like 5 black women I know that are like the sweetest people that I know. Mm-hmm. And then I can name other black women that are just, they like, but it's the same way for black men too, black individuals. Like, we have these images that are placed upon us. Yeah. Now with men, it's a bit different. Sometimes you don't realize that we have this certain degree of like male privilege, and Murdoch talked about it even in the book of Patriarchy. And so there's often this oversight, especially when it comes to hip hop and when it comes to the black struggle in general, that black men have been some of that poster child, and a lot of the struggles of black women have been kind of on the back burner. Somebody once said that for black men, our kind of frontline imagery is police brutality. A lot of people see that. But for black women, it's the healthcare system. A lot of black women die from the healthcare system, but it's a lot more hidden and not talked about and not as seen, not as publicized, televised. So I really think it's one of the things that I've definitely developed into growing more responsibility and championing the heritage, especially being in a white space. My old partner was white too. So I think I developed more of a hyper awareness of realizing, yo, this is what my family goes through. This is what other people. Oh shoot!
Yeah.
So that rabbit go. Oh
yeah.
Rabbit got another rabbit. They making him rabbits. Okay. So chicks are for kids, but really understanding that. Yeah, it's so much easier to be silent though, because that's common. Even some of our most celebrated artists, I would say, still miss the mark when it comes to that, and can contribute to that narrative of what they say misogynoir. Yeah. So I just really, I seek to, by no means am I a perfect voice, and I'm not going to speak for nobody either, but I want to be somebody that does help champion that and not contribute to that narrative, so to speak. Yeah.
You mentioned some black men in there, and you know I think that's interesting only because out of the 3 albums that you have, only one of them, and this is Soldier Sounds, has someone else other than you on the cover. I think it's a total of 5 of you. So who's on that cover, and why did you put them there?
Oh wow, man, you so observant, man.
It's my job,
man. That's great, man. You go places, man. I don't know if anybody ever told you this. You are gonna go to a lot of places. I see. Yeah, this great that the amount of excellence that you're executing this with. Phenomenal.
I appreciate
but,
that.
But just in terms of like music interviews, you know what I mean? Like a lot of, I've heard a lot of, not to get too much on the tangent, but some artists will come into interviews. It needs to be major label artists. They'll come in and then people don't even know anything about their music, or they'll ask them like questions that you want to ask the artist, questions that the fans really want to know the deep details behind. So I just want to say, that's a shout out to you, man. Just encourage you, uplift you.
I'm a fan first, man.
I feel you. That's great, man. So honestly, yeah, I was just doing a video shoot for Soldier Sounds, a specific song on there, because I usually do like a monthly like listening party to certain songs, and so for that one I wanted to do something. I just got some homies together. So I had one of my dogs, B Ran. I actually met him at P30 doing this vending event, and we've been tapped in. Real dope artist in the city. He from Gary though, and yeah, he's real motivational individual. I had my guy Malachi Carter on there too, right? Yeah. We've had a friendship for I think 4 or 5 years now going on, and so he's always been very supportive of things I've done. And then I had my brother Frank on there. You know, we just go. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. Like, this is my brother. Like we go back like 4 flats on the Cadillac. You know, that's my dog, man. I love seeing him just out and about. I'm always encouraged by him. And then I had my guy Alvin on the cover, and he's my producer, engineer. We met back in college actually through this ministry called Impact, and I was in a mentorship role to him, but eventually we started living together, roommates, and really developed a strong bond. And so he's one of my best friends to this day. And we worked on a lot of songs you heard here tonight together. And then last but not least, my guy Carte Carter was on the cover. I actually met him at my job, I think 2 years ago. Dang, time fly. I met him at my job. He's a dope artist, man. Here's the thing. I met him at an open mic I performed at like years ago, and he showed a lot of love. But then nothing really came up. You know, sometimes like you pass by but then circle back and he was working at the same place, and I just asked, hey, who your top 5 hip hop artists? And then after that, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of history. Yeah, great artists, and just so he put up to the shoot too though. So that's pretty much the people that was in that cover. People that have been impactful, influential in different ways.
Yeah, other strong bonds, you know. So I don't want to take up all the time. I always let the audience ask at least a couple questions if they have any. Does the audience have any questions? Okay.
The last standing audience, the first and the last, man. Shout out to Tyrus, man. Shout out to Tyrus. I'm so grateful Tyrus pulled up.
Okay. You want me to go first? Sure.
Yeah, you got that.
It's something that I think about often because it can be very difficult to keep doing shows and things depending on what's going on around them. You know, it's a lot of work, right? I think the one thing that really keeps me going is I have a strong belief in my idea and the Select Few Sessions as a whole. It's very few things in my life, maybe nothing, that I've been like, no, this is, like, I know for sure this is a good idea and this will, like, if I do it right, will really, really work out. And when it came to me, I was like, no, this is perfect. I'm in the perfect place for it. There's 1,000,001 artists out here, and it's a place that has a lot of untapped potential that a lot of people have been trying to follow in my footsteps like Dame Dash and trying to invest in the city like I wasn't here already. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. And then also, I feel like I've made a lot of promises to the artists around me. I've had some group sessions with them, and, you know, I made a promise about some things that I'm going to give them, and I'm going to keep it. So I just care so much for the music that's around indie, and I respect the craft of what they're doing, and I hope other people start to respect it just like I do and really start to support it like I do. And you ain't got to start a whole organization to start doing that, but I think them and seeing how passionate they are about it as I'm passionate about music is something that's like, no, I got to do it for them, man. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. What inspires you to keep going? You inspire me to keep going, man. Yeah, individuals like you, people like Troy, right, that have a vision, have a mission. Like, I think about, it was a playlist I listened to in college, the first time I went through depression, and it was this couple songs in there. One song called Live by an artist named Derek Minor, another song called Can't Stop Me Now by Lecrae. And I really just want to be that voice that somebody can listen to and keep going. You know, somebody that can speak through the chaos of their life and be like, nah, you can still get up another day. And I just try to practice it in my own life, you know. I try to get up. I spend time with Jesus, and through the journals, I literally journal. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm glad I landed on that, because I feel like it's more authentic to me, right? I journal daily. Well, not maybe every other day. I won't lie, but for the most part, it's pretty much a daily occurrence. I journal and spend time practicing my faith, spend time trying to get around other individuals that are inspirational, and that's when, because I feel like if you're around inspiration, you have no choice but to be inspired, you know. So that's why I think communities, even like the Mastermind, right, that's been very impactful for me, because it's a lot of inspirational individuals within that space, you know. So that answers your question.
That's good, man. I appreciate it. Okay, man. Well, I think that's all I got. I appreciate you so much for coming down and answering all my questions as a fan, man. And let's give it up for Rome Herbert one more time, man.
Hey man, that was so fun. Yeah, you great. You are great, man. That's yeah. I don't even know if I need the mic anymore. But shout out to Select Few Sessions. You know what I'm saying? Live and direct. If you weren't here, you're few, but you weren't select. So next time you can come tomorrow at Indie String Theory.
Indie String Theory.
And get selected.
Saturday. Yeah, man. All right, y'all. See you next time. Peace.